I love flying my elytra, but I constantly run out of rockets. And then I stay up all night and fight hordes of monsters while desperately trying to unalive creepers before they explode. They usually explode. So I want to make a creeper farm so I can get all the rockets I could ever want. And since creeper farms don't look very pretty, I want to hide it in a beautiful pale garden temple. Let's first start working on the creeper farm. We also need to find a good location for it, but also keep in mind that we need to put a beautiful pale garden temple there. And I want it to be very close to my base, so I was thinking maybe we put it right here because I have this stony, ugly kind of thing here. And the grass color is also kind of desaturated like the pale garden, so this could actually fit the vibe of the temple. And then the creeper farm can go under it. Oh, we're gonna have to do so much digging. Let's get our shulker boxes, and then let's get rid of all of this grass here. Sorry, little wolf, I'm destroying your home. I feel really bad now. I want the creeper farm to be underground, so I'm only gonna destroy a little bit of the terrain so I can reach the layers below, where I want to hollow out a little cavern where the farm can be placed out of sight. And now we've got a nice hole in the shape of the creeper farm, and I'm just gonna light it up so I don't have any creepers creeping up on me. I mean, I want them to show up, but in the farm and not behind me. I'm not scared. And digging that hole also got us 2 shulker boxes full of resources. I have so much dirt at this point, I don't even know where to put it anymore. But I think one day I might need it, and then I'm gonna be so happy that I have it. I know all of this stone is definitely gonna come in handy when we build the ruins. But before I can start on the creeper farm, I need to go and repair my tools in this super messy enderman farm. The ender pearls might be everywhere, but at least repairing my tools is super fast. And now everything is repaired. Ow! And now we can start grinding resources for the creeper farm. And the creeper farm doesn't actually need any redstone or scary stuff that is hard to get. But one thing we need is stacks upon stacks of trapdoors, so I'm just gonna chop down a bunch of spruce trees. Let's see how many trapdoors we can get from all of this spruce wood. And 4 stacks. I don't even know if I need that much, but it's always good to have many spruce trapdoors. We're also gonna need a couple hoppers and chests, and we also need campfires to burn the creepers alive. I mean nothing. And I found out that soul campfires are actually faster than normal campfires, so we can make those instead. And then the creepers will burn even faster. Teehee. And these resources are basically all we need. But there's one more thing that we need to put in this farm. Cats. We need to tame 4 cats and then sit them down in the creeper farm. So the creepers will be very scared and then fall in a hole and die. Why is everything so tragic? First we need to get tons of fish so we can actually tame cats. Of course I'm getting fish heads. Hello, I'm a fish. I almost have a whole stack of fish, so now I just need to go and find a cat, and I have this mountain village next to my base. And I haven't really seen cats here, but I also never really looked. I mean, there's a horse in a cave, so there could be a cat here too, right? Kitty, that's a sheep. Cat, that's also a sheep. I feel like this is gonna take a while. There is a cat. It's hiding over there behind the sheep. And now we just stand here and wait for the cat. Hello, don't be scared. Yes! First try! Okay, 1 cat done. 3 more to go. And there are no more cats in that village. Oh my gosh, I wanted to sleep and the cat is sitting down. That's so cute. Ah! The cat is sleeping on me! That's so cute! What the heck? What? It killed a bunny! I went all the way to the acacia biome to see if I can get a cat here. Psst, 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 psst. Kitty. Psst, 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 psst. There's a kitty! Oh my gosh! I called it and it answered. Come here, kitty! Come here! Please! Yes! Let's just bring this one home and then we can breed them together and then we get more cats. Hello cat, meet other cat. And now I have many children. This is so awkward. Yay, we have a little cat baby. I think I'm gonna dye the colors of those 2 cats because they're the first cats that we tamed in this world. So I'm actually gonna keep them and not put them in a horrible industrial farm. But their children can go in that farm. I'm so horrible. And a long time later, and we got ourselves 4 cat babies, and one of them has grown up already. There's gonna be a lot of orange cat energy in my creeper farm. Look at them all running behind me. Look at those tiny little cats. It's so adorable. Let's make the creeper farm ready for the cats to move in. I'm gonna put up some walls, and I'm just gonna use the deep slate because I have tons of that. And then we can split the creeper farm into 4 diagonal rooms. And every room is gonna have this little trapdoor thing where the cats will sit. It's gonna be their cozy little cat beds. And we're also gonna have carpets in every room so it's even cozier for the cats. Well, it's actually so the spiders won't spawn, but don't tell the cats. I also just thought the cat parents teleported because they have the same color. But when you breed them, they're born with a different colored color. That's so weird. This orange cat was born with a color. Minecraft is cursed. Every cat has their own little chamber. And I would just need to dig down and make another kind of chamber. the kill chamber. We're gonna have some chests here and some hoppers going into it. And on top of that, the soul campfires to burn the creeper toes. And I made a little viewing window so we could watch the creepers, but now I've boxed myself in, so we gotta find a way out of here. But I brought ladders so we can easily access this part of the farm. And now for the farm to work, there needs to be total darkness so we can get rid of all the torches. And to make sure that it's only creepers that spawn, we need to cover everything in trapdoors. And I think now the farm is pretty much done. We just need to cover it all in stone because we don't want any monsters spawning on top of it. Now no one can tell that there's a creeper farm here. Now we just have to make an AFK platform. Let's make a bunch of scaffolding, and then I just need to spam tons of scaffolding on top of the farm. But I'm so glad I have an elytra so I can just fly up. Look, you can see my entire base from over here, and that part where I still haven't decorated the wall. Don't look at that. Now let's make a little glass platform, and then we can stand on top of that. And I'm gonna box myself into so no monsters can spawn. And we're gonna have a little door. Nothing will get me in here, hopefully. Let's close the door and let's go AFK. And I was AFK in my little box for maybe like 2 hours or something. Let's see if we actually got any gunpowder. Ah, there's so many creepers out here! No! I think one thing I'm definitely gonna have to do is light up the terrain around it, because when it gets nighttime, the monsters will all spawn up here. We got 7 gunpowder from killing the creepers out here. Let's see if we get more from the creepers that were inside. Let's see what we got. Oh, we're rich! Also, why are there so many bats in the creeper farm? Let's take all of this gunpowder, and then we can farm all of this sugarcane by the shore. And then we can turn all of that into paper. We're gonna have so many. Oh my gosh, I can't even craft them because my inventory is full. I crafted up almost all of the gunpowder and we have a whole chest full of rockets. We can fly wherever we want to now. And we're gonna have to do a lot of flying because I need to go to the Pale Garden. Because now that the creeper farm is done, we can start working on the abandoned temple kind of thing, which is gonna be made out of Pale Garden blocks. And we have a Pale Garden right here, so I think I'm just gonna dismantle it and just steal everything. It's so creepy how the sky always changes to gray when I'm here. I brought my silk touch hoe so we could get all of the leaves. I've actually never used the leaves for building before, so this is gonna be really cool to try it out. And I also want to use all of this pale moss. Oh my gosh, and we should also get those eye blossom flowers kind of thing. And I also want to get all of these hanging vines. And I found out you don't need to use shears. You can just use a silk touch tool like my silk touch axe. And then we can get all of them just like that. Well, the gardening in the Pale Garden has gone really well and I took tons of resources from it. Look at all of these nice things we can use for building. I didn't chop down all the trees though, because I would rather do that in the safety of my own home, because I have tons of trees growing over here. And we're definitely gonna need lots of stacks of pale wood too. And I want to try and use as many of the white blocks we have in the game. So not just the pale oak blocks, we also have diorite. So I just need to find a diorite vein in the scary cave. Please nothing kill me while I take all of this. And while I was digging out all this diorite, I saw all of this glow lichen on the wall, and it gave me an idea, because that's also a very pale kind of plant, so it could go really well with all the Pale Garden stuff. I'm just not gonna get all of this lichen, not because I'm scared or anything, but I have this really nice herb garden, and this one has a lichen growing wall. We can just bone meal this wall, and then we can shear all of the lichen. I also have the hanging moss here, so if I need more, I can just bone meal that too. I'm also gonna go down to my branch mine, because I have a geode here, so I could get tons of calcite from it too, just in case we need another white block to go with the pale wood and the diorite. And look, I found diamonds under the geode! It's a sign. It was just 1 diamond. It's a scam. And I also want to try and see if I can find a tough vein so I can get some more resources. Found one. So let's take all of this too, because I think this could look well as a nice contrast to all the white blocks. And I have so many resources that they don't even fit in all of the shulker boxes. I mean, to be fair, I only own 2 shulker boxes. And then I had the grand idea to procrastinate on building the ruin and go back to the end and try and find more end cities and slay more shulkers, because now I have infinite rockets, so I don't have to save them and I can just fly around. And the best part is that I can get another elytra, so we can always have a backup elytra. You can never have enough wings, right? And really good loot. Look at this armor. Oh my gosh, I think I just found the diamond jackpot. I've just been looking for the exit, but I keep finding giant end cities. Look at this thing. I'm literally gonna have to fly back all the way to the spawn island because I can't find a portal. I think it's the scariest thing ever when you're just flying over the void and you don't see anything. My Enderman farm. I made it. And now we we can finally get out of this scary end. Goodbye, creepy place. But this little distraction was worth it because now we have over a stack of shulker shells, 2 new elytras, and a bunch of random armor and tools. We're rich. And I always forget that you can actually dye the shulker boxes, so we can have a red shulker box, which is of course going to be the permanent box for all of my rockets. Now that I have so many shulkers, I could be a lot more organized or make a huge mess. I'm probably gonna make a mess. And now I've got all of my resources ready, so we can get to work and build a beautiful temple. The first thing I gotta do is get rid of all of this scaffolding though, because I never use it anyway. I could just fly up there. And now I just have to get rid of all of this stone and dirt because I kind of want to hollow out this mountain. I don't want to fully destroy all the natural terrain though, and instead just carve out a little bit for my build so it fits in with the landscape. It's still looking like a huge mess, but I think I'm starting to get an idea for what I want to do here. I want to put a nice pond of the creeper farm and then have a staircase going up to this platform, and then this is where the ruins will be. And I actually found something super cool because when I dug into this wall, I found this random cave which actually leads to the outside. And then to this side it actually leads down, but it doesn't really lead anywhere yet. Because what if we dig a tunnel over to the creeper farm? And then this cave is the only access to the gunpowder chest. So now we have a nice tunnel leading to the creeper farm, which I'm definitely gonna decorate later. And now we just need to plan out the layout of the temple. We're definitely gonna put a door right here as the cave entrance. And then we can center this and have some water elements right here. I started working on a little pond kind of thing in the middle, so we can add some water to this. And now it's flowing all the way down here like a little waterfall. And around the pond I want to have a nice stony floor out of stone and stone bricks and some pale moss. And now we've got the floor in place, and another thing I want to do is to incorporate this pond into the ruins. So I want to build a little wall surrounding the pond. But since this is going to be in a pond in an ancient ruin that has been around for ages, I need this to look super weathered. So I'm going to add tons of diorite and polished diorite, and maybe even some calcite and oak planks. And I also want to connect both walls together with a little arch, which is going to be centered right under this little water pond. So now we can finally release all of the water. And then we can fill our little pond with it. Now that all the water is in, it's looking so good already. It's gonna be a really magical ruin. And I'm thinking I want to add in some secrets. I haven't even finished building and I'm already thinking about lore. I just want to add a little bit of something mystical, magical behind this waterfall. I'm gonna add tons of those pale leaves and those hanging moss vines. And now we have this dark, overgrown little cavern back there. And the little secret is that there's a lodestone. It's on a chain, almost hidden underwater, so the people who used to live here could always find their way back home. Okay, this is so cursed, but imagine a creeper civilization lived here and now I'm farming creepers in their home. That's so mean. Let's not make that the lore. I'm so bad at lore, I should stick to building. So let's make this wall a lot more overgrown. And now this is looking really ancient and magical and overgrown. And the next step is working our way up to the upper layers. So I want to make a nice little messy staircase on both sides going upwards. And I got really carried away, so after finishing the staircases, I started working on the floor on the upper layer, trying to make some nice old marble floor kind of thing. I've made so much progress on the temple. This is looking so cool already. And I put some markers in place for where I want to put some pillars, and of course the door is going to be in the middle. And maybe later we could add some stuff around it, like in the terrain. But for now I gotta go back on the grind because I'm already out of pale wood and I'm gonna need so much more for all the pillars. And what I also like to do is strip all the wood before I chop it down, because then I don't need to strip it later. Now I have tons of resources again, so now we can start working on the door. I think it definitely needs to be 3 wide and then have really, really tall pillars. And I want this door to be grand and super fancy, so I'm gonna add tons of little details using stairs and slabs and trapdoors. So everyone knows this is a mighty door and whoever goes through gets burned alive. I mean, goes into a cave to go to a nice creeper farm. And now this truly is a mighty door. And I've added something really funny to it. You can't really see it from up close, but from far away you can see there's a creeper face at the top of the door. Adding to the weird "the creepers used to live here and now I found them here" lore. Why do I keep talking about this? It's not the lore! Or is it? Just kidding. And I also added these smaller pillars which are gonna hold up the mountain, because I think I want to add some more stone over this and maybe have some hanging down, but I'm not really sure how to do that yet. So I think I need to add the other pillars and then I can do it. I want to have 2 bigger pillars next to the door, which are also gonna be kind of like broken down in places. And then I also want to have the stairs at the top, and I'm gonna try to connect them to the door. And then I'm gonna do the same on the other side, this time in the pouring rain. I hate the rain. Now we've got the big pillars in and they're all connected. And I'm just gonna add some small ones right here, but I'm not gonna connect them because they're gonna be really broken down. And I also wanted to use tough blocks to complement all the white blocks, and I'm thinking we could just add them in between everything. So we're gonna have this nice chiseled tuff here, and I love those so much with the little wind swirls. More lore, just kidding. And on top of that we can add bricks and maybe the polished tuff, and then more towards the top we can add the normal tuff. And I'm thinking we should also make this really worn down. Everything is broken and ancient in these ruins. And I've been having so much fun spamming all of these leaves and vines onto this too. Especially all the lichen. It was such a good idea to bring that. And also remember that the pale moss makes this growing thing on the walls next to it. So when we place it, it grows up the walls and it looks so cool. And now we have this really cool temple, and it's definitely looking like it's from a black and white movie. Everything is so desaturated, which also makes this kind of mystical and magical. And now that we have all the structural stuff in place, we gotta work on making this messy terrain match this and kind of like curve around this. I'm gonna need so much stone. Good that I saved all of my stone and put it into my shulker boxes. Look at me, I didn't make a mess. I was organized. I realized there's way too much green terrain around the ruined temple, and I really wanted to have that desaturated, pale garden look. So I used all my stone to build over the grassy landscape, and in some places I altered the terrain just a little bit to make the rocks look more sturdy and organic. I feel like we're in the final stages of making this ruin look more complete. The first thing I want to do is work on the stony sides here next to the stairs. And I want to add tons of pale moss and make it look super overgrown in here. Maybe this used to be an ancient garden, and it turned into a little tough wall that kind of broke towards the end, which is overgrown with pale garden plants. And I like that wall so much that I want to do the same thing on the other side. But I think something is still missing because these walls aren't super overgrown yet, because there's nothing on the moss, because we don't have pale grass. Only this pillager that's watching me. Creepy stalker. Bye! Oh my gosh, I hit him. Oh, now he's leaving. Bye! Anyway, we have the normal grass and it does look kind of pale because we're in the spruce biome, but I think it's still too saturated for this area. So we need to think of something else that is gray that we can use. Oh, he came back with his friends. Well, I'm leaving because I'm gonna go to a coral reef because the dead corals are exactly what I need. So we just have to go here with my silk touch pickaxe and then just pick out a couple of these coral fans. And I love how beautiful the coral reef looks at night. And my favorite ones are these corals because they look like little bushes. And they're gonna dry and then they're gonna be gray. And it's gonna look so good. And the best part is that we can add them on every block. It doesn't have to be moss or grass. It can be stone or anything. I think now the decorating part is done and everything is super overgrown. And the corals add so much to it. But the ruin isn't done yet because we gotta grab all of our pale wood again. Because I want to build more things on top of the hill. Are you kidding me? They're waiting for me to go up there. I'm just gonna ignore them and hope they don't see me build here. Because I want to build some kind of round temple, kind of like a gazebo up here. These are going to be the pillars, and on top of that we're going to have a nice mossy roof, just that I didn't bring any moss. Pro Minecraft. I've never had such a hard time finding my resources because they're all the same color. The moss spamming can continue. And moss wasn't the only thing I spammed, I also added so many pale garden leafy things. And now we have this really cool temple on top, and I added another creeper face on it. I think we need to add more little structures on that hill. So that's exactly what I did, and I made tiny little ruined buildings dotted around the mountain. And now here we have our pale garden temple. This is kind of giving me creepy, scary temple vibes, like something is gonna attack me. But luckily nothing is gonna attack me because I lit up all of these caves. Now we just need to decorate them. I want to have some mossy bits that leaked into the caves. But I also want to add some of the tough walls that we have outside of the temple. And I'm having so much fun just spamming decor in these caves. And I think they turned out really well because when we walk in, we have this ancient kind of corridor and it's all super creepy and overgrown. And then when we go down, we have some amethyst crystal areas here. So there's at least a little bit of color in these ruins, even if it is hidden underground. We have more crystals here, and over here's the ladder down to the creeper farm. I've actually been AFK again and we have so much gunpowder. And coming down to these caves to collect the rocket fuel is gonna be so fun every time. And then there's still the exit to the cave, which I also decorated. And I made some little steps leading up to my round gazebo temple thing. So we can actually walk up here and then enjoy the view of our ruin down below. Now we have this beautiful ruin that's hiding the creeper farm, which is gonna give us so many rockets. Now there's just one last thing we need to do. We gotta plant all of these eye blossoms. And then we gotta wait for nightfall. And now as the sun sets, they should all open. Yes, it's happening! Look at them, and Hello? Every single one is open except this one. Hello? It just doesn't want to, it's lazy. It's okay, little flower. I get that. But look at all the other ones. It's glowing everywhere. And now it's raining everywhere. Thank you, Minecraft, for ruining this beautiful moment. I guess I'm gonna sleep. Oh, now the flower is opened. Well, I really hope you like my ancient ruins, and I'll see you all next time. Please subscribe. Bye!